Hey folks, it's Billy DKY, the truth seeker that simplifies and demystifies. This is going to be UFC 111 predictions. I'm only going to talk about 3 fights. It's the only 3 fights I really am interested in discussing. So anyway. First fight, George St-Pierre versus Dan Harding. This fight all boils down to Dan Harding cannot handle GSP's wrestling. I know UK fans don't want to hear it, but GSP's just got too good at wrestling, man. It's just all there is to it. Okay. Dan's major weapons are standing, which GSP will quickly take them away from him by taking him down, where GSP will wear him out with ground and pound. Will wear him out with control and ground and pound. After Dan Harding is sufficiently broken, the GSP will submit him or get a referee stoppage. I know, I don't like it any more than you do. No insult to you. The UK fans, I know you don't want to hear that. Your boy's getting ready to go for the title. I mean, what's he going to do? Seriously. I don't see he has any tools to handle GSP. As much as I don't like the way GSP is fighting scared or more safety first mentality, I just don't see that, it's not like that GSP cannot strike. He just chooses not to. And so anyway, here's what I think it's going to take for somebody to beat GSP. Obviously, his wrestling is top notch. He's handled, top wrestlers like Matt Hughes, John Fitch, and Josh Koscheck. So you're not going to out-wrestle him, I do not believe, or at least not right now. Maybe he gets a little older, some of his spirit wears off, maybe a new young cat will come up and challenge him. But here's what I believe it takes to beat GSP. I believe a fighter needs to have a solid wrestling base with elusive striking like Machida. That way he can avoid the easy takedowns. Because what GSP is doing, as soon as you plant those feet to land a big bomb, what's GSP doing? He's changing levels, grabbing you, taking you down. So if you had the Machida kind of fighting style where you're setting things up and you're putting him in no-win situations with some of those kicks and punches, and you're also avoiding being taken down, then that's what's going to take to beat GSP and make him stay on the feet. Because BJ Penn couldn't really get any submissions going on the ground with him. Okay. And also, if you could actually implement that, then basically what you're doing is you're making GSP stand where he's not really as comfortable, and he's going to have more. Not that he's not good at striking, but he's not used to standing anymore, really. He doesn't stand much at all. And basically, that's how I could see you could beat GSP. And plus, too, if you get him standing, he's not in control of where the fight's taking place. He's probably not prepared for where he trained for. And you're going to see some of those fear issues that I pointed out about GSP and into the mind of GSP, taking advantage of him or exploiting him. Like I said, I don't see Dan Harding having any real answers for GSP. As much as I want him to win, I don't really see him doing anything. GSP 65%, Dan Harding 35%. I know it's hard for UK fans to hear that, but that's the way I see it. Frank Mir versus Shane Carwin. I think this fight all boils down to Frank Mir has slicker skills and more of those skills. So Frank Mir's glaring weakness was his physical strength, which he is quickly filling in that gap. Don't get me wrong, he's not nowhere near Shane Carwin's kind of strength and stuff, but he's definitely closing that gap. Shane's greatest weapon is his physical strength. However, he also has that wrestler's mentality of bullying, which leaves him open to strikes and slick submissions, which I think that's what's going to happen. I think Mir will avoid the heavy hands of Shane Carwin and get the better of the stand-up. Shane won't like it and will take Mir down where Mir will eventually submit Carwin with a slick submission. I do think it's going to be a close fight. I mean, obviously Carwin could win. I'm going to say 55% Mir, 45% Carwin, and again, it's going to be a close fight. If either one of these puts on a dominant show, it's really going to push them right up to the, to a real good challenge with Brock Lesnar. But it might be a good scrap. Who knows? Okay, next fight I want to talk about, John Fitch versus Thiago Alves. I think this fight all boils down to Thiago will be able to handle John Fitch's wrestling, while Fitch won't be able to handle Thiago's striking. And so I think Thiago realized after his loss to GSP that he needed to work more on his wrestling, which Fitch will suffer because of that. Because I think he's going to be able to keep Fitch off of him and basically do what he wants. So here's how I see it going. I see Thiago getting the better of the stand-up and Fitch not liking it. I see Fitch trying to take Thiago down with occasional success. Eventually, Thiago knocks Fitch out on the feet. I do think it's going to be a close fight. I think it's going to be Thiago 55% and Fitch 45%. Okay, my playlist that just popped up will have the Into the Mind of these UFC fighters, and within that I've got the Into the Mind of GSP, which there was 2 videos, and a lot of Canadian folks and GSP lovers really didn't like it because they want me to say all these holier than thou things about him, which I'm just telling you the way it is, what I see. You know what I mean? We all know that GSP's a champion. We all know that GSP's dominated all these other guys. We know what his skills are. I'm pointing out what his weaknesses are. Come to terms with it. Okay. Within that playlist of Into the Mind, I have 3 other videos you might be interested in. The new MMA scoring system, preliminary. If you don't like the way the system is now, got a good video out there explaining how I'd like to see it changed. Second video in there that's related to the first one is hypothetical fights under the new MMA scoring system. I think a lot of you will like it. Some of you ain't gonna like it because you don't like change, but I think it's awesome. Third video in there is MMA training video under the Falling Away of Growth application number 2. Basically, it's not how to do arm bars and stuff like that. It's all about the philosophies of how you should be learning the arm bars and stuff like that. So many ways. It's stuff on how to be the best MMA fighter you can be. Like I say, it's all the more spiritual kind of stuff than the actual techniques and stuff. Till the next video, later folks.